Hi everybody, this is Carissa with Inky Fairy Designs, and I'm going to show you how I created these two fun cards today. I'm starting with using this mixed media stencil from Brutus Monroe along with some glitter glaze in Alabaster. I'm going to be mixing these two surface sprays in Aubergine and Locomotive. And I'm also going to be using this fun stamp called Smile On. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to mix up the glitter glaze nice in the jar. Then I'm going to pull some out onto my glass media mat. And then I'm going to spray the two colors of surface spray into the glitter glaze to create a unique color. Last week in my video, I mixed them while I was watercoloring and they created this beautiful periwinkle color, and so I thought it would be fun to mix it into the alabaster glitter glaze and kind of create that color that I liked so much for today's cards. So I'm just going to do that. I mix it. I spray a little bit more to make it a bit darker, and then I'm going to add just a bit more of the glitter glaze to lighten it up a little bit because it kind of got a little bit too darker than I wanted it anyway. So it's just a matter of trial and error, mixing, adding more, mixing it again until you have the color that you want. Now the glitter glaze comes in a lot of fun colors, but since I had the alabaster, which is white, you can pretty much mix your own unique colors using that. So and you still retain all of that beautiful glitter and shimmer. You just are able to make your own unique colors. So I'm doing two cards today, and I wanted to have some fun and experiment with the glitter glaze on a white card base as well as a black card base. So that's why I have two 4.5 or 4.25 by 5.5 sheets of cardstock here for my cards. And I am placing the stencil kind of off the side and corner of the cardstock on the white paper. And I'm just spreading that glitter glaze around, smoothing it down. I'm using a very thin layer because I want it to dry fairly quickly. And I didn't mix a lot. So I really was trying to get as much of it down on my paper as I could. And you can see I got a little bit over here on the corner, and then I had some on my fingers that I didn't realize, but we're gonna work with it and we're just gonna make it work. So I'm just adding a little bit, tiny bit on the corners here just to make the entire background a pattern with this stencil and the glitter glaze. And I kind of really messed up on this bottom left hand corner, but with the sentiment panel it covers most of it up and it's not a huge big deal. So you can see it's kind of a little bit smeared there, but it's going to be okay. So before I cleaned off my stencil, I went ahead and started the black panel. And you can see I've totally run out of the glitter glaze that I had mixed. So I'm going to just mix up some more, trying to match that color. It's pretty good. Match that, and I originally just left it with this single stencil in the middle of the card, but in the when I start putting the card together, you'll see that I added just a touch more on the corners to fill up the entire panel. So now I'm cleaning up my glass mat, took my stencil over to my sink with some warm soapy water and washed that off right away. When you're working with the glitter glazes, they do dry, and you want to make sure that you clean off your stencils right away. So now while my panels are drying, I'm going to stamp my sentiment on a piece of white cardstock that I have die cut. And you can see I'm stamping it more than once. I am using the Raven ink, detail ink, to do my stamping. And then once I am satisfied with that, I'm going to go ahead and move on to the next spot and do a little splattering with those surface sprays. So first I just splatter directly from the bottle, so full concentrate of the color all around, and then I'm going to mix it with some water and mix those two colors together to create that periwinkle color. And I'm also going to add a bit of shimmer with some watercolor shimmer spray that I have here. And now I'm going to mix those with my paintbrush and create the color that I want on my media mat, and then I'll add some of those lighter and glittery splatters on the two panels. I originally stamped both of my sentiments on white cardstock, but then when I was putting the cards together, I thought it would be fun to do a black panel on my white cardstock and then use the white cardstock on my black panel. So I pulled out the pigment ink in Alabaster, and I'm going to stamp that on the black cardstock that I die cut using the same rectangle die. It has a fun wonky stitched border around it, and I am stamping it twice just to get a nice white crisp image here. So that is perfect. Love it. Now I'm going to take my card base, which is just a white piece of cardstock that I cut in half at 4 1/4, and now I'm folding it at 5 1/2 to create a top folding A2 size card. I'm going to do the same thing to my black cardstock here. I'm going to score it at 5 1/2 to create a second top folding A2 size card base. And then I'm going to use some super strong adhesive to adhere these glitter glaze panels to my card base. However, I forgot that I wanted to trim off just a bit so that I had a little bit of a border from my card base. So I have that adhesive on the back of this one. I'm still going to gently place it in my guillotine trimmer here and just trim off a bit of the edge on the side where I kind of messed up through the stencil, just to kind of get rid of a little bit of that. It doesn't really show too much once I put the card together, but I figured since I'm trimming off some of it, I might as well trim off the bits that I wasn't quite happy with. You can see it gets a little bit stuck in my trimmer, but I'm able to move it around and get it where I want it and just trim off that little bit. While I have the trimmer out on my desk, I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing to the black panel that I didn't put adhesive on yet. So it's a little bit easier, and I'm just going to do the same thing, take a little bit off of the bottom edge and the right side of the little panel. I hope this video inspired you to pull out your stencils and have some play with your glitter glaze. You can do what I did here and change the color of the glitter glaze if you have like a white one, or use some of your sprays to change that color up, or just use them straight out of the bottle. They are beautiful on their own, of course. So here I'm just going to attach that to the black card base. So I'm attaching the white one to the black so we have a little bit of contrast and it pops a little bit more. And then I'll attach the black panel to the white cardstock just to have that contrast around that one. I think the glitter glazes look beautiful on both the white and the dark cardstock. You can really still see the color and you can still see the beautiful shimmer. I took some dimensional adhesive and placed that on the back of my sentiment panel, and I love this stamp because it says keep calm and smile on. I think it's such a great stamp for anytime somebody is going through something, and especially during these times when I saw that, I just knew I had to make some cards with it because I think it would be such a great one to send out to my friends and family who might be struggling right now with what we are all kind of dealing with. So I hope it inspires you too. I hope it brings you a smile. I hope you enjoyed this video and how I used the glitter glazes today. If you did, please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to both my channel at Inky Fairy Designs and the Brutus Monroe YouTube channel to get more inspiration like this every single day. We do appreciate that. And if you are inspired by this or any of the projects you see here, and you want to share that on social media, please use the hashtag BrutusMonroe as well as hashtag create your own endings so we can take a look at your projects and hop around and give you some love as well. Thank you again. I will see you next week with another video. Until then, keep smiling, or keep calm and smile on. Bye, guys.